Hockenheim, the venue for round 12 of the Formula One World Championship. Michael Schumacher, championship leader on home ground. Not surprisingly, he was the centre of attention. But it was Juan Pablo Montoya who, in his 12th Formula One Grand Prix, grabbed his first ever pole position. Montoya on the front row with his Williams teammate Ralf Schumacher, making it the first all-Williams front row since Silverstone 1997. Mika Häkkinen on row 2, won here in 1998. Michael Schumacher won in 1995. David Coulthard on row 3. Schumacher's nearest championship challenger had never won at Hockenheim. He was alongside Rubens Barrichello, who won here last year, coming up from 18th place on the grid. Further down the order, 15th place, Ricardo Zonta, replacing the fired Heinz-Harald Frentzen at Jordan. From the start, Montoya and Ralf Schumacher quickly away from the line, but Michael Schumacher hesitated and was hit by Luciano Berti in the Prost, who in turn almost landed on top of Bernoldi in the Arrows. Michael Schumacher out of the German Grand Prix at the first corner for the second year running. Had a word with Luciano Berti just to make sure he was all right. The debris on the circuit was such that the safety car had to come out, and subsequently the race was stopped, which meant a complete restart, meaning that Michael Schumacher could hop into his spare and begin again from 4th place on the grid. This is a replay of the start. Berti in the Prost, running up the back of Michael Schumacher, almost landing on top of the Arrows. And he's simply a passenger in the shell of that Prost as it careers across the gravel track. Michael Schumacher, to the delight of the crowd, came out onto the circuit in a shiny new spare car, watched intently by personnel at Ferrari and McLaren. The race was restarted. Montoya again quickly away from the line, followed by Ralf Schumacher. This time Michael Schumacher did get going and was holding down 4th place alongside Mika Häkkinen. The two Ferraris in fact jostling for position with the two McLarens, and eventually it was Michael Schumacher into 3rd place, while behind the leading cars Pedro de la Rosa in the Jaguar hit the back of the Sauber of Nick Heidfeld, and those two were out before completion of the first lap. Rubens Barrichello then up alongside David Coulthard. This was a tremendous battle between the McLaren and the Ferrari. Coulthard managing to hold off Barrichello, but Barrichello just would not give in. Häkkinen in 4th place, these two battling over 5th. And Barrichello forcing his way past David Coulthard. All this incident before the end of the very first lap. Through the stadium section, and Juan Pablo Montoya led over the line for the first time. 44 more laps to go. Sheer drama anticipated. Kimi Räikkönen in the Sauber up to 7th. This is a replay of the incident which caused the retirements of De La Rosa and Heidfeld. Major collision, and both cars badly damaged. Both drivers okay. Montoya started to stretch his lead over his teammate, who in turn gained some advantage over his brother. But Barrichello was now alongside Mika Häkkinen. Another overtaking manoeuvre, which meant that the race order was Williams 1 and 2, Ferrari 3 and 4, McLaren 5 and 6. Ricardo Zonta in for Heinz-Harald Frentzen at Jordan, in trouble having lost his front wing after a collision with Jos Verstappen. More debris at the side of the track. Barrichello went past Michael Schumacher for 3rd place. Barrichello had already proved that he had the faster car. Michael Schumacher content to let him go. Zonta into retirement at Jordan. Montoya built up his lead even further over his teammate to 6.1 seconds. It's an impressive show from the young Colombian, who previously led in Brazil but couldn't finish there. Out of the race went Mika Häkkinen with a hold radiator. After his win at Silverstone, you'd expected to continue his good form here. But he was unlucky again. Rubens Barrichello, the first Ferrari pit stop. Juan Pablo Montoya continued on his merry way, setting the fastest lap of the race so far. Two retirements together, Eddie Irvine and Kimi Räikkönen. Barrichello resumed his duel with David Coulthard. And going round the outside, he used the track wisely and was once again back into contention. For Juan Pablo Montoya, having led the race so well, problems at the pit stop. The fuel hose didn't fit properly. They had to find an alternative, and that delayed him for almost 30 seconds. When he came out, he was behind both Ferraris. Ralf Schumacher was now into the lead. Michael Schumacher in 5th place after his pit stop suddenly slowed and dropped out. Disappointment for all his home fans at Hockenheim. Bertie into the barriers, an eventful race for the Prost driver. Michael Schumacher, an interested spectator, watching from the sidelines. Juan Pablo Montoya was the next man to retire, followed by David Coulthard. And that left the driver's title race as it was before the Grand Prix started. Michael Schumacher on 84 points, David Coulthard on 47. With so many of the big names dropping out, there's a chance for other drivers to shine. Villeneuve in 3rd, Fisichella 4th, Panis 5th, Button was 6th, and Alesi 7th. Meanwhile, 2nd place Barrichello was delayed at his 2nd pit stop. Again, the fuel hose causing the problem. He stayed in 2nd place, but now he had no chance of making 1st. Another retirement, Jarno Trulli, out from 8th in the Jordan. Panis, 7th, out of the points after a late pit stop. Michael Schumacher, listening to his transistor, but apparently reception not too good. Meantime, Ralf Schumacher came home to the applause of everybody, including the Ferrari fans, taking the checkered flag and the 10 points for the win for his 3rd victory of the season, completing 307 kilometres in just over an hour and 18 minutes. Rubens Barrichello took 2nd place. An excellent drive from him. And somewhere adrift, Jacques Villeneuve, chased all the way by Giancarlo Fisichella, and Jenson Button just seeing off John Alesi for 5th. Ralf Schumacher took the applause of the crowd and Big Brother. Ralf Schumacher, Rubens Barrichello, Jacques Villeneuve on the podium, Giancarlo Fisichella and Jenson Button for Benetton scoring points, Jean Alesi for Prost in 6th place, Olivier Panis just missing out. Among the not classified drivers, the big names, David Coulthard, Juan Pablo Montoya, Michael Schumacher and Mika Häkkinen. A most eventful race, which shook up the Drivers' Championship considerably, although Michael Schumacher still had a 37-point lead over David Coulthard. Ralf Schumacher had now overtaken Barrichello for 3rd place, and there were just 7 points between David Coulthard, Ralf Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello. Michael Schumacher came chasing back to make sure he was early with his congratulations to his younger brother. Plenty for the Schumacher family to talk about. It seemed that everybody on the racetrack knew Ralf Schumacher. Williams' strong showing and Schumacher's impressive victory here sets up an intriguing finish to the season, especially in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari skating away with 1st place, but McLaren on 66 points and Williams on 56 now are separated by just 10. Sauber, BAR and Jordan, the only other teams into double figures. For Ralf Schumacher, he won, he said, because he conserved his engine.
Well, already before that weekend, we knew that we are on the tight side with the engine. So when after the race, when Pablo pulled away, I was, I thought, okay, you do whatever you want to, and I started to save engine already because I know how long and how hard that race is, obviously, to engines, and it paid off at the end. And after this, the team told me as well, slow even more down, and then it was easy because Rubens couldn't push anymore, so it was a perfect scenario for us.
Second place for Rubens Barrichello after a couple of wheel-to-wheel battles with David Coulthard.
I took a long time to overtake David. It was a fair race, but I think it was a little bit too close. And he was losing time as well, so I don't know what he was playing, because we both wanted to go forward and we were losing like 3 seconds a lap. And so I was hoping to finish well. I mean, if Michael was there, I don't know what I would have done it, but it's in any case, I think it was everything I would hope for.
For Jacques Villeneuve, it was his second podium finish of the season.
I'm surprised to be in the podium. I was hoping to get in the points, and I thought we'd need a little bit of luck to get in the points. But to get in the podium today is great. We weren't very competitive all weekend, but this morning, surprisingly, in the warm-up, after a few changes on the car was really, really competitive with fuel on board. So we knew we had a chance to do a good race.
For Michael Schumacher, the equation is simple. A win in Hungary and he equals Alain Prost's record of 51 victories, and the title is his. But this was Ralf Schumacher's day.